We saw the largest comeback in NFL history. The league has been around over 100 years, Michael. We've never seen a comeback quite like what we saw Saturday. The Colts were up 33-0 at halftime. They end up losing the game 39-36 in overtime. But you put out a tweet, and this was about midway through the game. I think it was around that halftime portion that you said simply, the Colts are 12 first downs from winning. Milk the clock. Don't snap it until 1 second left on the play clock. They didn't listen, man.
No, they were snapping it with 18 to 20 seconds left. I mean, I said this.
Gotta run tempo.
If you could have flown Bill Parcells in at halftime from Jupiter, Florida, got his butt on an airplane, put him in, let him go out there, put on coat gear, let him coach the team, and if he takes it, say Saturday, you go work for ESPN the second half, okay? You just go work for ESPN, and I'll take this shit, I'll take it over, and they would have won the game. They would have won the game. But, I don't understand it. Like, why are we snapping the ball with 18 seconds? When we do that, I mean, if you do it 3 times, there's another minute in the game. There's another minute in the game. We're just giving them more times to get it back. So it was like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? So just for the record, Femi, they ended up with 6 first downs in the second half. 6. And a fumble. I mean, the amazing thing about this comeback is it wasn't like the defense scored. I mean, let's face it here now. The defense did score. The officials just didn't let them score.
Twice.
I mean, not only did the Vikings have to overcome they had to overcome Trey Blake. I mean, they had to overcome the deficit that they created themselves, and they had to overcome Trey Blake's whistle.
It was just out of control. And I'm watching the game on Saturday, and you feel that, okay, the Vikings look like they're kind of dead. Maybe it's a sleepy spot. Who knows what's going on? And then the second half starts to play out, and Jefferson's getting whatever he wants. Osborne's getting whatever he wants. And it's like, oh, there might be something here. And I didn't get involved with the game because I didn't want any part on either side. But you just felt that it wasn't going to be easy for Indianapolis once you saw the Colts offense couldn't do a lick of anything in that second half. Jeff Saturday was asked about the second half collapse and heading into overtime as well. Here's what he had to say after the game.
Yeah, I mean, I played a lot of football, so I've been a part of some crazy games myself. So yeah, I mean, when we walked out of halftime, I told them this team, they've won 9 of 10 of their games have been 1-score games. Yeah, we didn't overlook. We understood how explosive this offense is, how many points they put up. So no, I'm not. I'm disappointed in how we played in the second half and didn't find a way to close this thing out. But ultimately, I told the guys in there, we didn't make enough plays, and that goes around the entire football team. And you got to look yourself in the mirror and understand when there's opportunities to make and close teams like that out, we got to make them. We didn't make them.
I mean, look, it's always the players, right? The players didn't make enough plays. Like, I heard that quote. I watched that after the game, Femi, and I'm like, wait a minute, Jeff. Like, see, this is my hardest part about watching football games is like, do you understand like how you got in this lead? Like, you weren't making any plays to get the lead. You get a field goal and 11-play drive to start the game. Okay, great. You get a fumble, you get a punt block for a touchdown. Okay, now you're up 10. Right? Then you get the ball on a fumble. You get the ball on a fumble. You get another touchdown. You kick 2 field goals because they go for it on 4th down. You essentially get 20 points because you didn't make a play. If you were making any plays in the game, you would have been up by 40 at halftime. I mean, the Vikings were just saying, here, please take it. Here, have it. Like, at some point, like, it's not the players making plays. It's how you manage the game. Like, at some point, you just can't say we got to go out there. They're an explosive team. Like, okay, you go to your offensive coordinator. Here's what we're doing in the second half. I don't want to snap this son of a bitch until there's 3 seconds on the play clock. We got to make sure we got a lot of good third down calls that we can run because I don't mind being in third down. I want to use 3 downs I want to get first downs, but I want to run this clock. It's funny, on Friday morning, I wrote a column for VSiN.com, and I talked about Parcells in the second quarter when he had Lawrence Taylor. He'd get a 10-point lead. He'd tell the fucking offensive staff, Ron, milk it, Ron. Because he knew he had Lawrence Taylor. He knew there's no way they're going to score 10 points. Belichick's going to play cover 2. There's going to be no big plays. Nobody's going to be over the top of us, and we're going to make them work the ball down the field. How are they going to get the ball in the end zone against Lawrence Taylor? It's the same thing here. Like, go over to your defense coordinator. Instead of playing palms, which they were playing most of the freaking game, like, go over there and say, hey, Gus, just play Tampa, play 2. Let's make sure nothing gets thrown over our head. We're going to come up. We'll tackle really good. Let's rush 4. Let's see if they can methodically put 10 plays together. No big plays. Like, you don't have to be a genius. And then when we get the ball on offense, we are going to milk this clock.
It almost felt like, to me, like the Vikings were just playing around with these guys. Like, all right, we're better than these dudes. Let's put this video game on expert level and get down 33 and see if we can still win the game. And they were able to win the game. And it's just funny enough because Jeff Saturday, we all know, is the interim head coach who replaced one Frank Reich. Frank Reich had the previous largest come-from-behind win with the Buffalo Bills against the Houston Oilers in 1992. And shout out to one of our Twitter followers. I believe it's Chris Salomon or Salomon. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He tweeted at us saying, is this the ghost of Frank Reich game? With Indianapolis losing and giving up that big of a lead.
I mean, I don't know how he comes back, right? I mean, he just auditioned here in the second half. I've been involved in a lot of football games. No, you haven't. You've never been in this situation where you've had a 33 to, like, nobody's in that. You're the head coach now. Like, that's why to become a grandmaster chess player, you have to go through a lot of chess games to get there. Like you can't just play. Like, he keeps citing his experience as a player, which is going to allow this. Like, you have to coach the coaches. That's the most frustrating thing about New England. The best coach I've ever been around used to coach the coaches, and now they're making mistakes. That's how hard it is. Like, that's how hard it is to coach the coaches. Like, he can't get it done. How is Saturday in the Park going to get it done? Like, it's a joke. And here's what I will tell you, Femi. I don't know what Jim Irsay has, but he will never gain alignment in his organization. He will never gain alignment if he doesn't remove Saturday from the equation. Because whomever he hires as his next head coach, and I'm assuming it's going to be Saturday, they're always going to have the ghost of Saturday hanging over them because, hey, Jim, I wouldn't have done that. Hey, Jim, I wouldn't have done that. Jim, I don't like that. I'm watching tape. I don't think we're doing it. Like, that's not alignment.
Yeah, no, he can't hire Jeff Saturday. That's just not a thing that can happen.
Watch him.
I mean, if he does.
Hey, these guys are billionaires. These guys, it's like when you have this incredible wealth, does it really matter what you do? I mean, the Saudis prove that. I mean, it don't matter. They got so much wealth, they don't care.
I guess.
They don't care.
Well,
you can write all the columns you want. He loves the guy. And the guy thinks he's really good at it. That's the hardest part. Like, to me, if I were Jeff Saturday, I would be calling Bill Parcells every hour. Say, Bill, help me out here. Help me out. He probably would. I would be calling Joe Gibbs. I'd be calling every coach.
Over the last 4 fourth quarters, Michael, the Colts have been outscored 77-3 in the fourth quarter. I don't know what else Jim Irsay needs to see there to realize he doesn't have
it's
the guy.
A disaster.
Also, unfortunately for Matt Ryan, he's now the common denominator in the losing end of 2 of the greatest comebacks we've ever seen. Obviously, the 28-3 Super Bowl with the New England Patriots, and now this game, 33-0 against the Minnesota Vikings. And this game did clinch the NFC North for said Minnesota Vikings. Another win, another one-score victory here for Minnesota as they're now.
I'll tell you what, if Kevin O'Connell ever goes out to I said this on Mitch and Paulie this morning. If Kevin O'Connell ever goes out to Las Vegas, they won't let him in any casino. He's the luckiest fucking bastard on planet Earth. Like, there's no chance he could get in a casino. Like, Derek Stevens would not let him in Circa. Like, there's no way we're letting that guy in here. He's too fucking lucky. Like, hey, I give him all the credit in the world. They fought, they played, but there's a lot of luck that had to go into that. I mean, he is so lucky. It's unbelievable. Now, it's going to run out eventually, but it's not run out so far.
Yeah, the guy's got a horseshoe up his ass or something, man.
No, he's got 3 of them up there.
It's ridiculous. But if he comes to Las Vegas, hey, man, come play with me, man. I'd love to ride the coattails and make a little extra money with that luck that he's carrying. Thanks for watching the GM Shuffle with Michael Lombardi. And for more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to VSiN Live and the GM Shuffle podcast with Michael Lombardi, presented by DraftKings and VSiN, wherever you get your podcasts.